Okay, so in 1973, I came back to Greece along with my father and mother, and we had an apartment on Triti Septembriou. It's one street below the Polytechnic Institute. And couldn't go to school because then my hair was long, so it wasn't allowed to have long hair and go to school at that time. So it was great for me because I didn't really want to go to school. So I spent a lot of time walking around, going to bookstores, English bookstores, picking up books and so forth. And one day this book showed up on a bookstore, autobiography of a yogi. I said, oh, that looks interesting, because I was always interested in the yogic philosophy. I read some things about it in Canada, and then so I took that book and started reading it. And in that book, there's a it speaks about this ascended master, Babaji, still living up in the Himalayas. And there's a drawing of him on the page, and sitting like this. And they said, if you sit cross-legged and look at this drawing and say the word Babaji silently in your mind, you'll receive a blessing. I said, oh, great. So I went into the bathroom. I sat down, cross-legged like this, with a candle. I put the book there and started looking at the drawing and saying the word Babaji, Babaji, Babaji inside me. And then after a while, I just kind of woke up, because it felt like I went into some kind of trance or maybe half sleep, because the candle had burnt down a bit. And so I thought nothing of it. So I stood up without any problem. I wasn't stiff or anything, and which was unusual, because usually I used to get very stiff because I was not very flexible. So I used to get stiff in my hips and my legs and so forth. I couldn't really sit cross-legged. So anyway, so I went out to get something to eat. And as I stepped outside the apartment building, I saw this bus coming down the street. It was rush hour. And those people, literally their arms were hanging outside the windows. And the bus was like billowing blue smoke. It was an old bus, probably from Second World War. And I saw it. And then I became very sad. Tears came into my eyes, because I could feel the pain of the bus carrying all those people. So I was like, that really scared me. So I just ran back into the apartment. I said, what's this? You know, they told me I was supposed to get nirvana. They told me I was supposed to have this experience of ecstasy, ecstatic, experience. And I'm like becoming one with the bus. So then an idea came up to me. So I was close to the National Archaeological Museum. I thought, well, maybe I can go to the museum and become one with one of the statues and absorb their energy. So that's what I did. I walked over there looking down. I didn't want to look at any buses or people or anything. It was just a few blocks. It was like 5 blocks. And I walked into the museum and then turned right, and there it is. The statue of the, called Artemisium. It was Dionysus or Neptune throwing some kind of spear or a trident. So and I was mesmerized. I stood in front of this statue looking at it. And then I walked off and then went to see other statues, and I came back to this one. Then I'd walk off again, and then I'd come back to this one. It was like it was drawing me back. So finally I just sat there and stood there and looking at it, trying to figure out what was it about the statue that was so different. And there was a security guard in the corner sitting on the chair, an older gentleman. And then he walked up to me and said, oh, so you like this drawing, you like this statue? I said, yes, but there's something different about this statue than any other statue in here. He keeps drawing me back. It's almost like a magnet. He said, yeah, well, this is a very special statue, and it's my favorite as well. And because during the Second World War, he was one of the people who took this statue and lifted it and hid it into the side of the museum. They dug a deep hole and put sand, layers of sand. That's where they hid all the statues and important relics from the museum. And the Germans never found them. So I was really impressed. I said, wow. Because, you know, their neighbors must have seen it. Everyone must have known they're burying all the priceless art and statues on the side of the building. But nobody ever betrayed it to the Germans. The Germans never found it. So that was very important for me to know. And so as I walked out of the museum, I could, so wait a second. So I said, what's so special? And then he said, well, this statue is different than all the other statues because it has equal weight on both legs. And you see it, it's like in the middle of thrusting the javelin or the trident or the lightning forward. Equal weight on both legs. It's the only statue there is of this depicting this. It's like a super fast camera grabbing the action of an athlete in the middle of the stride. Which was, so when I saw that, I looked at it, I said, yeah, that's right. And so when I left, I could feel the moment that the weight was on both legs as I walked. There was like a split second. As you're walking, you feel, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. So for the first time, I had a sense of a kinetic energy. And I think that's probably what led me to become a dancer, that experience.